In Space Watch, the first private space mission with a civilian crew is on tap for next year. And we now know who will be on that crew. A Houston-based company called Axiom Space is planning to send the group to the International Space Station in 2022. It will not be an inexpensive trip. The Washington Post and Associated Press both report the people on the private mission will pay $55 million each. That covers the flight and an 8-day stay in orbit. Larry Connor will be the pilot for that mission. Larry is an entrepreneur and nonprofit activist investor. He joins us now from Dayton, Ohio. Larry, let's start with the biggest, most obvious question. How excited are you to go up to space?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And yes, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It probably hasn't completely sunk in. Right now, I'm much more focused on the training.
Well, tell us more about the training and what you actually plan to do on this trip.
Yeah, so it's 4 months of training. We'll start doing some in the spring, and then come the fall, it'll be full-time, 5 days a week, 10 hours a day. In terms of the objectives, it's really twofold. I've always had an interest in space as well as medical research, and we hope to accomplish both. I've had a long-term relationship with Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic, and while we haven't finalized everything, we're hoping to do research and experiments. I've volunteered to be a test subject for both of those great institutions.
Well, Larry, we're watching some pretty incredible looking footage and understand that you are going to be the pilot on this. Is that you actually in that video that we see of you taking off? And what type of piloting experience did you have before signing up for this trip?
Yes, first off, that is me, and I'm fortunate. I have a pretty wide range of experience. I've flown everything from helicopters to fighter jets, and that's a tape that we did some months ago in an F-5 fighter jet.
Well, tell us a little bit. We understand that you're also training with a NASA astronaut. Have you had a chance to train with your other crew members?
Yeah, we've had a chance to meet out at SpaceX in terms of doing the initial spacesuit fitting. Outstanding group, very professional, and led by Mike Lopez Argulla, who's a multi-time astronaut. And, you know, we're going to be the first, and so I believe we've got a real responsibility to measure up to the NASA and astronaut standards. I don't think that'll be easy, but I think with the team that we've assembled, we can accomplish that goal.
Has it always been a dream of yours to go into space? Is this the fulfillment of like little young Larry Connor's childhood dreams?
Sure. The answer is no. And I know some kids have grown up thinking about being an astronaut. I did not. Having said that, though, I've had a long interest in space. I really do believe it's the next great frontier. And I think there's so many opportunities there in terms of moving forward medical research as well as technology, communication, things that will really help people nationwide and around the world. By the way, I do recognize that it's expensive. NASA's done a great job, but in our view, you're going to have the private sector get involved. And like anything else, when you start out, it's expensive to start. Hopefully in 20 or 30 years, it makes it much more affordable for other people.
Well, you mentioned that it's very expensive, and this is quite the indulgence, but you also have shared so much of your wealth through charity. For people who are less familiar with your work, can you tell us a little bit about some of those initiatives?
Sure. And I do think it's a fair question, and I understand the criticism. But if I could, let me see if I can frame it. If you look at our not-for-profit endeavors, which we've been doing for almost 15 years, and then you look out over the next 10 years, we're going to spend some $400 million in not-for-profit endeavors. And so if you look at the cost of this flight, it's maybe, 1/8 to 1/10 of that cost. And if you also believe that, space can help people in multiple ways, both commercially and not-for-profit, we think it's a worthwhile endeavor.
I'm wondering if you have family members or others who are really jealous of your ability to go into space.
I don't think they're really jealous. I think they were more concerned about the safety. But if you really look at NASA's record and SpaceX record, they have a remarkably good safety record. So once they understood that, they were, I believe, comfortable and confident we can do, both a worthwhile mission as well as a safe one.
You seem very matter of fact about this whole thing, which is sort of incredible to me, to be honest, because you're going into space. That's crazy. As a civilian, the fact that this is happening is rather mind-boggling and extraordinary. I'm wondering if you're at all nervous about what lies ahead for you.
Yeah, again, fair question. I've been very fortunate. I've done a lot of very unusual things, and I think you need to keep perspective. On this particular flight, Mike Lopez Agrilia is going to be the commander. Yes, I am the pilot, but my job is really to support Mike and monitor systems. I'm sure that day, and as we get close, it'll be very natural to be a bit nervous, but I think then I'll probably be more excited.
All right. Well, Larry, this mission will obviously get a lot of attention. It already has. So what do you want all of us people who will be looking up at you guys from here on Earth to get out of it?
Yeah, so I would hope people would see this as the first step in the private sector. Helping to explore the next great frontier, which is space, and that people would at least realize that we can do a lot of good, whether it's on the medical front, technology front, by doing this. And, we see ourselves as the first of many, and to us that creates a responsibility to do it right.
Larry Connor, thank you for joining us and best of luck on your mission.
Thanks very much.